Okay, so yes, one more time, good evening, everyone. So welcome to another class. Okay, so today we're basically going to be looking at material design. It's something that's really important when trying to build applications. So it's one thing to build an application that works. It's another thing to build an application that that has a very good user experience. Okay, something that your users can actually feel very comfortable with when they see it. Talking about your colors, talking about your buttons, how do you, your icons, how do you align stuff and everything. So we're going to be looking into material design today. So that is that. So let me permission to share my screen. Do I really need a permission? Okay, let me just be formal. So confirm you can see my Android Studio. So I'll be sure I'm sharing the right screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, so let's well, I'm just going to use just a simple application to talk about material design, and then if time permits, I will get to apply it in the tip calculator we built, or you get to do that yourself if time permits. So basically, we'll just see how effective colors are in our application, how to set colors as part of your theme, and then how to apply a style to a view, and basically changing the look of an app using using a theme. So that's basically what we'll try to cover today, and more if we have time. Okay, so I'm just going to go straight into, I've already created a demo project. So I'm actually just going to do this as fast as I can. So let's, I just go through, it's just basically padding layouts and views. So I'm going to use a linear layout here. Okay, and then so a linear layout is also a view group. Okay, it arranges child views or sub views rather in a linear manner. Okay, so it could arrange it either horizontally or vertically. So which means whenever you actually create whenever you're using a linear layout, you need to specify the orientation. You want the views to be arranged horizontally, or do you want them to be arranged vertically? So I want to actually use vertical. So I'm going to just add another thing, a margin. So when I actually say layout margin, basically I want to say 16 dp. So it's going to actually give a margin top, bottom, start, and end, because I didn't specify if it's going to be a margin top, margin bottom. So when I just use layout margin, it's going to add that 16 dp to both the top, the bottom, the start, and the end. You can already see that from this view. Okay, so I think that's just what I want to do. And then we already have a text view here, which is this young man. So just for design purposes, I want the height to be, let's say 50 dp. Okay, yes, and then I want to bring in what we call a layout gravity, and I want it to be centered horizontally. So yeah, I want the view to actually be centered horizontally. Okay, and then what else can I add? Let's add a margin top of 10 dp. I think that's fine. For the text, I kind of don't want this, so let me just use the text secondary color. Okay, can just use okay, well, this is the first text view now, so let's say primary. Okay, and then do I want the text to be in all caps? Let me say caps, and then I'm going to say true. I want everything to be capitalized. Okay, and the text size, I want it to be 12 SP. So okay, so we've just extra string resource for this, and then I think that's basically that. So I'm going to take out, we don't need this whole constraints stuff because we are not using a constraint layout, so we're just going to take that out. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to need is a button. I need a button actually. So, and I want the width to wrap the content, and I want the height to be 50 dp also, or let the height just wrap the content also. Let's make it a wrap content, and then also we're going to give it a layout gravity of center horizontal. And then for the text on it, let me just say button, and then we'll extract that. Okay, sorry, button and not yeah, so the value should be this. Okay, good. So that's basically that's all I want from that. So I need another text view, so I think I'm just going to copy this, and then I'm just going to paste this here. So I think that's fine. So the only thing I just want to do is I want this to be secondary color, and extract that, and that's fine. And then one last thing, we have probably, for some of us who have actually seen it on phones, you may or may not know what it actually does or what it actually is. So it's called a floating action button. So sorry, let's open a tag and then floating. Yeah, so you have floating action button. So I'm going to just say it should wrap the content both there. Yeah, so you can actually see that. And then I'm going to also give it the layout gravity of center horizontal. Yeah, and then I want to, so it actually requires a content description, just like every button. So let me just give it to avoid anything. I'm going to say email icon, or let me just say icon. I think I don't have to be more specific. Okay, and then I want to actually give it an image. Actually, I want to actually give it an image. So I'm going to use SRC. Okay, so you have the Android SRC. Okay, and then you have the app SRC. Okay, so I remember in the last class someone asked the question. Okay, so when creating this project, I actually targeted API 19, that's KitKat. So I need to use, especially when I'm going to make use of drawables, I need to actually make sure I am using app.src and not android.src. Okay, so so let me just do this. Okay, so I can actually just change this to app. Okay, and then actually what I should have here is SRC compact. Okay, so SRC compact. Okay, so now let's see if I have any default drawable here that I can make use of. Let's see, email. Okay, I think this is already, it's already a default drawable in the Android system, so I don't have to create another one. Okay, so this is basically what we want to use to actually test the whole, look at the whole design system, material design. Okay, so I'm going to just run this and let's see how that looks. Let's see how that looks. So now material design is actually they said people say it's actually inspired by the physical world and its textures and the whole of that. Okay, but this is basically what Android actually adopts. They adopt what we call material design. Okay, it's kind of just it allows you to just adapt a design for your application with guidance on customizing your colors, okay, your typography, your shapes. It's in fact actually now it's even it actually comes with a built-in theme that you can actually use. We'll talk about themes. Okay, so material design is actually Android's specification for design. They are really specific about you following what we call material design guidelines. Okay, so as time goes on, we'll actually just be getting to understand what this whole thing is. It's basically, material design just basically provides guidelines on how you actually build your UI in a readable, attractive, and a more consistent manner. So it's basically a guide. Okay, so So yeah, so this is what we have. So let's see what we can actually do about this. So this leads me to talk about what we call themes. Okay, but before that, of course, you need to know about colors. Now, in my res folder, resources folder, come down to values. So you see the whole of this. Okay, so let me see if I can just talk briefly about this. It's not really necessary for you to have an in-depth knowledge for now. Okay, so a color actually, can actually be represented as a hexadecimal number. Okay, that's 0 to down to 255. Okay, that's representing red, blue, red, green, and blue. That's RGB. Okay, so let me just some stuff you just need to just know. This already is a color code. Okay, now but this actually just represents opaque. It just tells you that this color is going to have what we call 100%. It's going to be 100% what opaque. Okay, that's basically what that FF means. There's also you wanting to use the option of 00. Okay, so basically they actually just talk about the transparency of the color. The transparency. You notice when I put 00, you can actually just, so it just basically talks about the word transparency. Now ash 00, okay, it's 0% what that means. It's fully what transparent, fully transparent. But when we now use FF, okay, it means it is 100% fully what opaque. Okay, that's just extra knowledge for you to just have. Okay, so they're actually what's called alpha values. Okay, so just to drop that. Okay, but basically what we're looking at now is just themes. Okay, now a style can actually specify attributes for a view. Okay, such as probably the font color of that view, a font size, a background color, okay, and a whole lot. Okay, so what we are actually going to do now is talk about themes. Now, a theme is actually just a collection of styles. So just look at style from the literal meaning of the word style. Just like you have clothes, different styles of clothes. Okay, you just so a particular t-shirt can have different styles. Probably what is the style? Probably the color, probably the shape. Is it the one with a collar or the one without a collar or stuff like that? So that's basically what style. So a theme is a collection of styles that's actually applied to an entire application, a particular activity, or maybe just a view hierarchy. Okay, so when you apply a theme to an app or activity or a view or even a view group, okay, that theme is actually applied to that element and all of its children. Okay, so that's actually just an overview of what themes are. So let's actually do a little implementation. So another thing I would want us to do is I want to go to my strings.xml. Okay, so you can actually see these resources here, primary color, based on the extracted resource that we had. This is just trying to throw back as I'm moving on for people who maybe didn't catch up with one or two things. Okay, now, well, I would have loved to show you how to add material dependencies to your project, but by default, it actually comes now. But let's see, if you go to your build.gradle, okay, you already have it by default. Okay, which is com.google.android.material and the whole and the likes of that. Okay, that actually comes by default for recent Android recent. So I don't need to actually teach you how to do that anymore because it's not necessary. So basically, what we're going to do is to separate styles from themes. Okay, we're going to separate styles from from themes. Now, in previous Android Studio, what we have here with these themes it's not usually as a folder like this or a package rather. We just have themes normally, themes.xml. But moving forward, they now decided to create by default the night mode version of the theme. So that means you can design this for the light mode and this one for dark mode. Okay, but before it wasn't there. So this is actually like a plus for us actually. So we don't have to go ahead and start, creating a theme. So let's look at this. Let's look at this theme. I'm going to close this because I don't need it. Let's look at this first one. Okay, so looking at this now, you have a particular style, and the style name is what theme.design what memo. Now we need to understand. Let me do Control B and go into this. So this is just a declaration. Okay, so this is talking about what this young man. Now, its parent, that is, where is this theme.design, what is it inheriting from? Where is the parent? The parent is from what? Theme.material components.day, night, dark action bar. Now, this theme, of course, it's actually from an Impute stuff. Well, let me just click on it. You see, there are a whole lot that comes with the material components, a whole lot. Okay, so let me not confuse us. So let's just focus on what's there. So we have the primary brand color, which is, you have the color primary, which is this purple. You have the primary variant, and then you have the color on the primary, which is the white. So these are the colors that just came by the default on with your project. So we're going to actually, and if you notice, you can see here, they even you're given the ability to customize your own theme. You can actually customize your own theme, which is what we are actually going to be doing. So first things, I want to go to, so let's just do that. Let me I'll go to my manifest, and then in this Android manifest.xml, you can actually see that for our theme, it is already using, now this art style, okay, specifies let me just do the double, okay, it actually just points to where your theme is located, okay. Now, our theme actually is already theme.design memo. This design memo is already the name of our application, okay. So okay, so can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. Hello? Confirm that you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I think you went off for a bit.
Yeah, so yeah, I did. That was it. So I got to end that. Okay, so let's continue. So I think so this is fine. So let's try to do something in particular now. I can decide to change the name. Okay, probably I don't want it to come with the the default name. I can decide to change the name. Let's see, what if I change it to tip? Of course, it's going to give an error. Why? Because it doesn't exist. Like, there's no, I can't see any style. I can't see any theme like this, but we can actually create it. We can actually create it. So how do we do that? Okay, it's just, I can easily just go to my themes and then create my own style and give the name, let's just say theme dot, I'm just showing you something, theme dot tip, okay. But now, of course, you definitely have it because it cannot resolve this young man. So I can actually just say, and then I can now say the parent should, okay, let's just inherit from the theme dot material component. Okay, material components, just like that. And then day, night, let's still use this action bar, then close this. So this is basically how you actually just create a theme. You understand? This is how you just create your own style. And then you can do whatever. You can decide to choose your own color primary. You can decide to choose whatever you actually want. So this is just me showing you how you can actually create your own theme. We'll get to do that. So for now, I'm gonna just return this to how it was. Okay. So let's move on. Let's move on. So I want to let's make some. I want to actually get my own colors. Okay, I want to just pick up some colors and then we'll use that to edit, to create our own, our own this is so let's see. Okay, let's assume I'm using this tip. Okay, I can let's see. Okay, so first of all, let me go to my colors, and then I need different colors than what actually just came with this young man. So let's see, let me create a color, and then let's use green. And so what would be the color code? Let's say 1B5E20. Okay, I hope that's okay. So 1B5. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so let me just duplicate this, and it's okay. So let's do, this should be a green. Okay, and then let's make this 003300. I think that gives us a dark green. And then let's make this light green. Okay, so for the light green, I just have to just say A5D, and let's say 6A4. Okay, that gives us a light green. And then let's use a blue. Let's bring in a blue, and then we'll get a dark blue and then a light blue. So okay, let's say 02, and then 88D1. Okay, yeah, that's a blue. And then okay, so let's get a dark blue. And for the dark blue, I should have 005B9F. Okay, that gives us a light blue, and then a dark blue rather, and then light. I think I'll just, so this should be 81D, A, F, and A. Okay, so I think that we can work with that. Okay, so now how do we now use these colors in our theme? Okay, now that we have names of the colors, now how can we use it in our theme? So basically it's just to, I'll just go to my themes already. This one that has been created. Let me just edit this. And so my color primary, okay, what I'm just going to do is that I'll change my color primary to the primary color that's I've selected. So basically this is what I'm saying. Assuming I do something like this, let me just show you something like this. Let me paste this. Okay, now I can decide to change. So this color primary now, I don't even want it to be this anymore. Okay, I want it to actually be the colors that I've used. That's basically that. But I think I'd prefer, let me leave this creation to you guys, and then let's edit this. Okay, I think I'll prefer that. Okay, so let our color primary be color green. We already have that. And then let the primary variant be green dark. And then let the color on the, let's leave the color on the primary to be white. Okay, so for the color secondary, let's use blue. Just blue. And then the variant should be blue dark. Okay, so I think that's fine. And now, so now let's look at where's this. Okay, so you can actually see that the color, the text, okay, on this button, you can see the button changes to blue, to green rather, because our green is our color primary. So that means your button takes the color primary by default. That's just what it basically means. Okay, so and if you can see, the text is still white. That's because of the word color on primary. Okay, so that's a bit that. So let's now see how this looks like. So I'm just going to make the changes. Of course, this is what it was before. this is what it was before. So let's actually just change that, and then let's see what comes up as that. Okay, so we have to reinstall. Okay, so this is it now. So these are the changes we have actually made, and it kind of seems a bit more cooler. So you can now, with this, you can be able to now compare to know what, when you're building your applications, you now know what color actually gets attached to certain parts of your application. Okay, so if you notice, well, we have this very dark one. So that means the primary variant is the primary variant. And then we have our color primary. So our app bar by default takes the color primary. And then the color on the primary should be what? White, which is what this young man here, that's why we have this text as what? White. And then the button also, by default, your button takes the what? Color, color primary what? Variant. Or is it even, I think this looks a bit darker. So that means it takes the color primary by default, and then the color on the so the button, this floating action button, takes the secondary color by default. When you create it, it takes your color, your secondary color. And if you notice, we said the color on the secondary should be black. Now let's make this, let's see, do we have let me just use another color. How would this look on? Okay, let's just this is going to be awful on, but let me just explain how. So the color on the secondary, so this button changes. So any color that should go on that button, on the floating action button, that's color on the secondary, that should be the color. So I think black is better. So I'm just going to take it back to that. Okay, so that's actually how you play around to make your app look a bit more, did I use the word beautiful or something? So so that's actually that. Okay, so another thing we can actually do is to implement the dark theme. So yeah, I'm actually going to show you how to do a dark theme now. Okay, so dark theme is just, this is the logic for dark theme. It's just to take your theme here, what you have here, and modify it. So if you look at this now, this is the default colors for dark theme. So if I switch to dark mode, I don't think my emulator can do that here. Can it? I don't think my emulator can do that here, and I don't want to have to start to search. Okay, so but what happens is this: when you now switch to dark mode, okay, it actually just gets the default colors that you have there. Okay, it gets the default. So let me see. I want to try something for some of us who might be using emulator. Okay, so let me look at this. So battery, let me turn on. Okay, turn on now. I want to see if I can. Good. So that actually, that gives us, I think that gives us dark mode. So design demo, so you get to see the whole dark mode thing now. Okay, so on dark mode, it takes the this young man takes what? The color primary, okay, and then the color primary variant, and then you have the color on primary, which is black, okay, and then you have this whole thing here. So what do we now do? Okay, we don't want this actually on dark mode. We can decide to modify it. Okay, yes, someone has a question. Emmanuel Okpala, go ahead.
Yeah, I noticed some app has the ability to change the themes directly. Is it something like this? Like I could just change from light to dark?
Yes. Those apps were actually built to do so. You can actually implement it yourself. It's just the thing is this. The logic here is this. Okay. Well, I think we would actually get to do that. Okay. The logic here is this. Now, when you're now creating a button, or let's just say a text rather, you don't give it Like, for example, let's say we want to use color here, text color. You don't give it a default value. You know, maybe like saying probably this, you don't give it a default value. Okay, because if you give it a default value, you can't actually manipulate. That's why it's always advised that you store resources, you know, string resource, your colors should be stored in your color, XML, and the rest. So basically the logic is this: you will get the color, there's a place you actually create your colors. Okay, I'll teach us that when we get there. Okay, and then you now manipulate it that, okay, whenever it's in light mode, this color should display. Whenever it is in dark mode, this color should what? Display. That's just it. It's actually very simple. It's actually a very simple thing to really what? Implement. So it's just like if you're writing it in code, you just have to check for the phones, check if the phone is in, if dark mode is actually activated in the phone to know, it will now know what to switch to. So that's actually that. It's a very simple thing to actually implement. There's nothing there. So any other person have any question? Do we have any question? Any question? Okay, no, so fine. If there's no question, now let's apply this to our application that we built. Okay, let me just create a new window. Let me create a new window for that. So let's apply this in the tips application that we actually built. Okay, so my code is still the same because I'm not the one that is doing the assignments. The assignment is for you guys. Okay, but this is just to show the whole design thing. Okay, so let's now apply that. Okay, so I'll actually just take the color codes that we've actually used and just copy that. Let's use the same thing. So we're basically going to do that. So let's see. So by the way, let me just show you what we okay, don't worry, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so let me just talk about material components. Well, so material components are basically just UI, there's all called widgets, okay, that just make it easy to implement material styling in your application, okay. So these are already inbuilt components that has already been designed. So it just helps you it just makes it easier for you to now implement material styling in your application, okay. So a typical example will be I think somebody actually did that in his or her design, but someone used what we call a text impute layout. So I'm going to make some adjustments. Now, these are edit text, okay? I want us to use a material component for that, okay? I want us to use a material component, and it's going to be text impute layout. Okay, so this is just an impute layout, okay? It's not really the view per se, okay? Though it's a view actually. So it actually takes in the edit text as a child. Okay, so that means I have to do it this way. Okay, good. So now I now create the edit text impute edit text, which is this. So this is the material component for the edit text. Okay, so I'll now make it, the width should match the parent and the height should wrap the content. Sorry. So I think that's for now, that's actually, let's just close this out for now. Okay, so now for the impute layout, okay, this is just the layout, okay? So it's some of all these things we may not really need. Oh, the constraint is fine, the margin top is fine, and that's okay. And then the hint. So I want to give it a hint called label. Okay, and then let's extract resource code. Okay, so let me give it a hint called label. Now, let's take out this impute type. Okay, let's take out this input type. Okay, so let's just leave it at this, and then we'll make sure. So now, so basically, this is just a more let's say a better way of actually using the edit text view. Okay, this is a better way of implementing the edit text view. Okay, so what I'm going to now do is okay, so it's fine for us to have, okay, I think I took out. Okay, yeah, so let's leave the input type here. Okay, let's define that. And then for this is just okay. For that, we already have a hint. So I think we are good. Or maybe should we change it to cost of service? Yeah, let's actually use cost of service because that's the whole thing. Okay, so I think that's fine. Okay, so what else can we actually touch? Well, for now, let's just we can't actually even run the app now because, but let me just show you why. Let's just run this and actually see. Let's just run it. Okay, so one of the things that we need to now note is this. If you notice, you can see there's an error here already. Now, yes, because unresolved reference, it's not actually saying what is actually, how can I even get a text? The cost here is the text input layout. Okay, so we cannot get the a text from the input layout because it's just a layout. Okay, it is just a layout. It is not the view itself. So that is why we have that error there. So how can we do that? We'll just take out this ID, take out the ID because we don't actually want to do anything on that layout, and then put it in this editable text. Okay, so actually this gives us an error based on our constraints. So now if you look at the XML file now, you see that this cost is not a sibling in the same constraint layout because this cost is a sibling of this text input layout. So you cannot put this young man under this guy because this guy is even hidden. So what we can now do is to give this an ID, okay, and just call it cost layout, and that's fine. So this can now be cost layout. So it's below the cost layout and then costs. Okay, so I think that actually solves that. And this cost layout. Okay, so that's fine. What am I saying? Okay, we don't actually have an error. It's just in that. Okay, so that is actually that. So here now, let's see. So the text imputes that edits. Okay, so if you notice, the error is gone because it is actually assessing a text view and not a layout. Okay, so now I don't actually have to. I can actually even take this out. So it's not the layout that I'm more concerned about. I'm concerned about the view. So the view itself should take a number decimal impute type. Okay, and then I hope I'm not too fast. Okay, I hope I'm not too fast. Okay, so let's see. Let's run this and then see how this looks like. But before that, let's implement the design that we did. So I'm going to take this. Let me go to this guy, and then let's copy this. Okay, first of all, let's copy the colors that we added here. And then to the new project. Okay, so let's add those colors. Okay, and then so we'll go to the team. So just copy this, and then so that's for the. Okay, so what I just copied is just themes.xml. So that represents our light mode. I mean, yeah. So I'm just going to copy this. Okay, so these are two different projects, so you need to be careful when you're copying. if you notice, I haven't copied the design demo, which I shouldn't do. So I can just copy just this. Yeah. So you need to be very careful. And then, okay, so that's fine. And then for the dark mode, okay, so same thing. Did we change this for the dark mode? Okay, let's just do this. I think I'll just change it later, or I can leave that up to you. You can use whatever colors you like. Okay, so for the dark mode, okay, I think it's pretty much this. So there's no need to paste that. It's pretty much that, except we want to make certain adjustments for our own sake. Okay, so let's run this. Let's apply these changes and see what we've done. Okay, so I think this has to. What am I running? Okay, so. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we're in dark mode. That's why we have this. So let me just go out of dark mode. Okay. Oh, but better still. Okay, so that takes us back to light mode. Okay, good. Yeah, so this is it is cool. Something about this button. What did we do here? Can I give it a padding? Let me just see. Maybe of okay, better still, let me just give it a margin. Kind of doesn't look cool. Okay, I think this is a bit much better. Okay, so so this is actually what we have done. Okay, so so this is the text impute layout stuff. So when you want to click on this, you can see the difference. Okay, so you have the cost of service as a hint, and then you can put in your values. Okay, I think and the application still works. So so this is that. Okay, and then let's move on. So let's move on. Okay, so for the switch, okay, so for the switches now, if you notice, let me show you. If you notice, the switch takes the color of takes the secondary color actually. Okay, so and a switch actually is just a toggle stuff on and off. Now, there in material design guidelines, there are also guidelines on switches. Okay, I'll drop a link for us. Okay, I'll actually upload this here. I'll drop a link for us so we can actually go through material guidelines. There's also guidelines on switches. Okay, you can check that out. Okay, so there's a styling for switches. So let's actually apply that. Okay. But there's a component, so I can switch this instead of using, okay, we're already even using the switch material. Okay. Yeah, I remember I was wanting to use switch the other time and then it didn't work. So this is basically material switch. I just remember that we implemented it already. Okay, so that's actually that. So the next thing we'll look into now is icons. We want to add icons to this application. So icons are basically just symbols that can help your users understand a particular UI, to understand your interface by, basically just visual communication. Okay. So let's look at how to just get icons. Okay. So how to represent icons in your application. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. It confirmed that you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah. So apologies for that. Okay. So let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, so there are a lot of icons that material design actually provides for us. Okay, so let's add icons actually to our design. So I'm going to just come here. Like I can actually just make it easy. Just come to drawables, and then I'll go to new, and then I want to go to vector assets. Okay, vector assets. So I click on that. So here I just click on this where we have this clip art, okay? And then you see there are a lot of icons provided for our consumption. Yes, there's a whole lot. So now what I need, the icon I need, let's say round up. Let's say, can I just arrow? Okay, so I need a top arrow. So you can actually just search for what you actually want. So let's see. So let me see. Okay, yeah, I think I need this icon. So you can actually just rename your icon. So I'm going to rename this to round up. Okay, and then of course you can see you can actually change the colors. You can change your color code. You can choose any color you want. You can work on the opacity. You want it to be fully transparent, or you want it to, be opaque. So that's up to you. And then I'm just going to click on next, and then I'm going to click on finish, and that is that. So now we want to make use of it. Okay, we want to now make use of it. So, but let's get all the icons we need. Okay, let's just get all the icons we need. So I think I'm going to want so vector assets. Come here. So let's see, store. Okay, so I think I'll prefer this one. Okay, can actually just take out the baseline. I don't need 24. Let's just leave the color the way it is. Okay, and you can actually size it if you want to. That's up to you. And then I think one last icon I can actually add up here. Let's see. Okay. Service. Okay, yeah, room service icon. Okay, so but I'm going to call this service. I don't need 24. Okay, good. So let's work with these three icons. Okay. So I want to add an icon to, so I'm going to add the service icon to this impute edit text. Okay. And then I want to add the, how was your service? Okay. That service icon to this question. So, and then, the round up should come before this text. Okay. So let me see this text. Let me put a padding of 20 dp. Okay, that's much. Okay, let's just, okay, so that's actually good. Okay, so let's now work on that. So first of all, I'm going to add an image view. Okay, I'm going to add an image view. That's what I'm going to do. So let's come here. So just before this, I'm going to add an image view. Okay, so I want it to wrap the content. Okay, and then of course I need to give it an ID because we're using a constraint layout here. So let's say cost icon. Okay, yeah, cost icon. And then and just, okay, so let's give, so we're going to use the app.src compact. Remember I said we're using this because we are targeting a very low version, which is Android API 19, that's KitKat. And that's why we're using app.src compact. Okay, so so now we want to access the image. Okay, where is the image? It is at the drawable folder. Okay, and then you have okay, so we want this icon. Okay, good. So that's the icon we actually want now. And then let's just do some constraints. Let's constraint the start. So the start of parents. Okay, and then let's constrain the top. Let's constrain to the top of our cost layout. Okay, let's do it to the top of our cost layout. So let's see how that is. Okay, good. And then the bottom, let's constrain the bottom to the bottom of the cost layout also. So that kind of just centralizes it. And then I think that's fine. Okay, so an image view, it actually requires actually telling us for set content description and the likes. Well, so before that, let me just do this. So there's this is an important for accessibility. So when I set it to no, I am free of the whole content description thing. So it's not important for accessibility. That's basically what I'm saying. So we don't have to make it compulsory. Okay, so that is actually that. So the icon and the text. Okay, but if you look at it, it's kind of like they're still just overlapping, each other. So let's do something. So let's add a margin start for this guy. Okay, it's 30. So let's okay. So let's do something. Well, the end, let's add an end. And to okay.
Sorry, sir, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Hello, can anybody hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So let's move on. Okay, so what I'm just going to do, then let's add just to separate this guys a bit. So I can add, okay, let me see. I want to try something. What is the name of this guy? Okay, so icon. Okay, so this actually just pushes it. So what I'm doing, I'm constraining the end of this text input layouts to the end of this guy. So let me make this a 16. It's too far. Let's see. Is that fine? Okay. No. Okay, so let's see. 20. Okay, so let's do. Okay, so why does it seem like? Okay, so let's undo what we have done. Okay, so okay, another thing I just need them to have space, so I can actually just increase this guy, probably this. Ooh, that's much. Sorry. Okay, and that just gives it a bit of space. And then for the image view, I can actually just give a margin start. Oh, sorry, start of let's say just 10 dp, so it comes out a bit. Okay, so that's, I think it's kind of looks a bit more looks better. Okay, so what else? So let's go to the next one, which is the text view. Okay, let's go to the text view. So I'm just going to copy this guy to avoid having to do a lot of work. I'm just going to copy this guy, and then just before the text view, okay, which is here, I'll paste it. Okay, so let's make this service icon. Let that be the name, service icon. And then okay, so it's having a wrong constraint. So we want the start to be to parent, which is fine. Then we want to go to the top of the question. So I think we have, I think that's service question. Yes, to constrain to the top, and then the bottom also should be constrained to the service question. Okay, so that actually sorts that out. Okay, so but we don't want this icon, so let's change it think we have something about service. Yes. Okay, so yeah, that's a bit much better. Okay, and then the last thing we want to just do, okay, not really the last thing per se. Okay, so if you look, let's try to do a bit of alignment. Okay, so let's just move, think. So we can actually, I hope, let's see, our radio group. Let's see, our radio group. Okay, yeah, so our radio group is constrained already. So that's why whenever that guy moves, it moves. So the last thing, we need to add another image view for this roundup text. So we already copied an image. So let's see. Okay, this is where you have it. So let me just put that before. So for the radio group, let's see. Let me call this round icon. And then the icon should be, I think we have a round. Good. So I want, as usual, let the top be, what's the ID of this guy? Tip switch. Okay, good. So the top of tip switch and bottom to the bottom of tip switch. Okay, so that actually just brings it down. Okay, but we need to actually, move it a bit because it's kind of so let's look at our margin. Let's look at this guy. Can we make it? Let's make it. If we make it 16, 20, say 30. Okay, so far. So let's do. Okay, so say 40. Sorry, not 400. Okay, so 40. Okay, so this is basically that. And okay, so I want to just do something. Let's constrain this start to let's see, should we? Okay, let's constrain this start to this radio group. So what's the radio group's tip options? Let's see how this is gonna look like. So start to the start of tip options. Okay, so with that, I don't need this 40. Let's see how 20 is gonna look like. Okay, so let's even take out the margin start because we're already constraining it. Okay, good. So it's kind of constrained here. So this is just, we're just playing around, okay? And then that's basically that. And then, okay, so for our button, well, I think everything is also fine. So you can just make it a bit more, okay, I think this is okay. So now if we look at, let's look at this in the position of our tip results. Okay, I think it's kind of too close to this. So let's give it, first of all, it's constrained here. So let's give it a, let's give it a margin top. Does it have? No. A margin top of, let's say 8 dp. And then so another thing I would want to do, let me constrain this to this young man instead. So yeah, okay, good. And then this guy, so let's see, okay. And then we'll give it a margin. Let's give it a margin to margin end for, let's use 8 dp also. I think that's a bit small. Let's make it 10 dp. That kind of just pushes it out a bit. So yeah, some people will be like, why is it like this? Why is this space? So don't worry, we're just playing around with stuff. Okay, so now if you notice the font size and color of that service question, okay, and everything, you understand that the tip amount, they look kind of different. Okay, so let's just do something. Let's do something consistent. Let's bring in the concept of style now. Okay, remember we said a style actually is just a collection of just view attributes for a single type of widget. Okay, for example, a text view style and actually specify a font color, a text size, the background color, and the whole of that. So let's create styles. So I'm going to create a new file here in my values folder. Okay, I'm going to create a new file. So let's just say directory. Okay, new values. Should I say values resource file? Okay, so yes, values resource file, and then I'm going to call it styles. Okay, so you don't need to actually put .xml if you can, if you want to find, but it's not really necessary. And then I'm just going to click OK. So we want to create our own style. Okay, we want to create our own style. So so I'm going to create a new text view style so that the text appears consistent all through the app. I don't want to have to, come here, for example, and say the text color here should be white, the text color here should be white, the text, a whole lot of text color white, text color white, text color white. So I just want to create one style, and it's going to be applied to every text view in the application, in that layout rather. Okay, so this is going to, let's do it like this. Come here. So I'm going to name my so to create a style, just use the word style. So I'm going to use widget. Let's see. Dot can I call, let's try something. Let's see. Let's see how this worked. Okay. Okay, and then let's choose the parent. So we're going to use theme dot material components dot text view. Okay, so that's not popping out, so that means we need to there's a bit of change we need to think probably. Okay, let me just finish that. Hold on. Let's try something. Okay, so yeah, that's created. So what is this saying here? Let's find out. Protection, varied resource in other configuration. Okay, indeed. Okay, so I think I'll sort this. Okay, sorry, I'm not supposed to use theme widget. Okay, so yeah, that solves that. That solves that. So I'm supposed to use widget and not what theme. Okay, so let's now what do we want? How do we want our text view to? What and what? So we can now choose what to call an item. So what will be the name? Now, there's a lot of things you can do. These are a lot of attributes you can apply on the text view, a lot of them. So let's just use a few. So I'm going to use what we'll call a minimum height. And then I'm going to give that value of 48 dp. Okay, another thing I can apply to this text view is the gravity. And I'm going to say it should be centered vertically, sorry, close this, centered vertically. And then another item, say text appearance. Okay, so text appearance. Well, yeah, this is what I need. Android text appearance. Okay, and then this is what I want. I want a particular attribute. Now I'm going to just do this. So I hope. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, and then attributes, and then text appearance. Body. Let's just use this. Okay, so someone is actually playing with our Zoom. Please check your mouse and try not to do that. Okay, so this is basically that. So we have just created a style now. So the next thing is to now apply this style to our views. So let's apply this style which is widgets.tips.text view. We can now apply it to our text view. So let's use this service. How was the service? Let's use that. So all I just have to do, I'll just come here and say style. Okay, so actually let's come style. Okay, and then what will my style be? Which it's the one I actually created. So I'm just going to type tip. So I should actually just see it, which is this young man. So you can actually see the changes that have been made. So let's just apply this, and then we get to see what happened. So before it runs, okay, so before, this is how it is. Okay, let's now look at what it is now. Okay, so this is what we have now. Okay, it's a bit more. So we have a minimum height and everything. So we can apply it to every other text views that we have. So it's basically, I'm basically just showing you how we can create what we call it, a style. Okay, and then what else? We can actually do a style for the button also. Okay, we can actually do the style for the button. So let's apply the same style for this other text view. Okay, so that's that. So we can actually do the same thing for the button. So I'm just going to create another style here. And so the name of this style will be, let me say, widgets dot tips dot compound button dot switch. Okay, so sorry. So let this inherit from the let's say widgets dot material components, of course. Okay, material components. Okay, and then dot, I think I have a compound button. So let's, can I find that? Oh, do we even have that here? Let's see. I don't think we do, but let me just. Okay, let's, I think we're, I think I'm making. Okay, sorry, this is actually for, this is for radio button. So, okay, yeah, let's just do that on the radio button at the same time. And so I think this, let's see. Let's radio compound button. Okay, so let me create this compound. So how would this look? Okay, so let's see. What? So cannot resolve this material widgets. Okay. So that means we're making. It's probably calling something that's not there. Okay, so let's see how we can actually solve that. Let's see how we can solve that. Okay, let's see. Okay, you have compound button, and then you have the radio button, of which the style. So, okay. Okay, let me confirm something. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Okay, so we have button. So we can actually use any of this though. We can actually use any of this. So I guess that particular one, that compound button is a bit more deprecated. Okay, so let's see. Let's use. Kind of don't like. Okay. Okay, let's just use this. let's just use this and then see what the effect is going to be. Okay, so for that, I can just say we want the items there for any button at all in that layout. Okay, I just want to do maybe a padding start of let's say 8 dp, and then maybe another thing I want is let's say a text appearance for every item, and a text appearance for every text that is going to appear on the button. So I want the text appearance to have, okay, then you have the attributes and then text appearance body one. Okay, so I can now apply this for, let's apply it for the radio button, and then let's see what happens here. So style, let me just type compound, and then I should be able to, since it's a name. Okay, so this is the one we created. So let's see. Okay, wow. That actually just scatters everything we want to do. Okay, so that's not what we want. That's not what we want. Okay, so let's see. If I take this out, this particular item, what do we have? Okay, so it's still the same thing, and the reason is because of what we are inheriting. Okay, that's the reason. The reason is because of this is what we are inheriting, and already these are the attributes that have. This already is inheriting the normal button, and this is a radio button. So we can't actually use this. We can't use this. So let's see. Let's see if we can try to use another button. Text button. Unelevated. I've not tried this, so let's see. Let's see what unelevated does. Okay, so it's like it's not really, we're not seeing any changes at all. So okay, so immediately I put this back. Okay, so should I think I have, okay. Okay, so let's do this. Okay. So I think that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So let's just do this. Now I actually did something that I want to show you guys just for, okay, so this 8dp, okay, so it's not also cool to, especially this 8 and the 48, it's not also cool to have explicit declarations of density pixels. So you can actually create what we call a dimensioned resource file. So just go to this, go to new, and then just do dimensions. That's dimension, okay, just short form for dimension. So this creates something like this for you, and then you can now actually specify probably a name here. Like I can say one of the dimensions I want to have is let's say minimum, as mean text height, and then I'm going to give it a value of, let's say, that the 48 that we actually was needed. So with this, I don't have to explicitly declare 48. I just have to say at dimensions, okay, and then you have minimum text height. So these are very important, especially when you want to reuse these dimensions. You don't have to explicitly declare them. So you can actually do that for every other one that you have. Okay, so I'm going to just rush through so that we can round up. Some of these things is something you just practice for yourself, and then what else can we just do? Let's see, what else can we do? What else can we do? Let's see to this. Let's see what we have. Let's apply, and then let's see what we have currently. Let's see how we can make certain changes. Okay, reinstall. Okay, so this is what we have. So if you look, the text here is not aligned, and the reason is because in our style, we gave a gravity, we gave a minimum text height. Okay, so what we can actually do, you can even see it here. It's not really aligned, so we can actually move this guy to the left. Okay, so yes. So I can take out this padding. Let me take out this. And then instead of padding, let me add a margin top of, let's say 10. Okay. Okay, so that gets to actually put that. I can also put a bottom margin of 10 also. Kind of just gives a bit more space. Okay, so let's look at how that is. Okay, so okay, I think that's a bit much. That's a bit much better. So this is basically just how we've applied material design, okay, into our applications, okay, and how to create styles and the rest. So let's see one more thing. One more thing. I really want to check for something. Okay. So it seems that there's a lot of things are no longer on this widget.material components. A lot of things. So okay, so we can even create a style for our text impute layouts and the rest. Okay, so you can actually just play around with this. Just play around with this and then see the effects and what it actually does. There's a lot you can do. There's a slider, okay, snack bar, yeah, text view and the rest, toolbar and the rest. So yeah, you can actually just inherit from these guys and then you get stuff done. So okay, so let's see one last thing and then we round up. Okay, so adding these styles to your theme. Okay, remember we said that a theme is a collection of name of resources or styles, named resources. Okay, so let's now see how we can actually just do that. Now on your on our themes, which is this young man, how can we add it to our themes? We want to add our style to our theme. So what we can actually just do is this. So first of all, this one is for the night mode. Okay, this is for the night mode. So what I can now do is to add something here. I can now say, I can add an item here. And then I'm going to call it, so here, what do we have here? Okay, so where are we? Yeah, I can now say, let me say text impute style. Okay, and then what is the style? What style am I using for my for my text impute? Okay, so I'm just going to do this. Sorry, close it up and say at. And then I'm going to get style. So it's just for me to look for the style I created. Okay, which is this this one. So I'm just I can just click on this. So this is you actually now adding it to your theme. Okay, this is you adding it to your theme. But well, this is not really for text impute. So let me see. Well, let's just use. Let's see what we have here. Well, what did we even do with that theme? So let's just say, okay, let's use text style. Let's use text style, right? Okay. Okay, I think it's better to just use. But I think I would prefer for the text inputs. Let's create a style for that. I would like to create a style for that text input. So let's do this. Let's come here. Let me just copy this. I don't have to do a lot of writing again. So let's see. Do we have? Let's just use that. Let's just use that. And then want to use the text inputs. So text input layouts. So we can use outline box dense. Excuse me, outline box dense. This like there are several stuff you can use. So let's just use this one first. Let's apply this. And then this text inputs. Let's see what it does on this guy. So I'm going to come here and then add it here. Let's add it here. Text input style. Text inputs, I think that was the name, yes. And then this is how it actually is. So having 2 lines here, so I think I'm just gonna. So let's see how this actually works. Okay, let's see how that works. So apply changes. Okay, we have to reinstall and restart. Okay, so this is how it actually is. So I think this is, yeah, so this is actually much better. This is actually much better. So this is one of the good things about material design. So you can see this is far different from what we had before. Okay, so yes, that's that. So you can add a lot of, you can just play around with the styles and get to see certain effects they will have. Okay, you can just play around with that. And then probably let me just do, let's just maybe do one last one. Can I create any other style? Let me see if I can see anyone for that for our switch. Okay, let me see if I can use anyone for our switch. So switch. Do we have any? Okay, so so there's no one for switch. That's interesting. Okay, so well, let's see. Well, I think I'll leave you to actually play around with that one. I just saw something, so let me leave you to actually play around with that. So I think that's basically that. So one last thing I want to cover is this. Let me run this application. I want to show you something. So this is fine, okay, but I want to switch it to landscape mode. No, that's not basically what I want to do. So okay, so let me just toggle this. Okay. So you can actually see this. So if you notice, our button just disappeared. When we actually switched to landscape mode, our button just, you can't even find it anymore. Okay, so this is what you can actually do to prevent this. We'll add what we call a scroll view. Okay, we'll add what we call a what scroll view. So I'm just going to come here just above this constraint layout. So I'm going to add a scroll view, and then scroll view is going to have a so I can just let me just come here. Let me just close this up. Good. So everything should be in the scroll view. So let me first of all, we should have a height of this, and then since this is going to be the first view group, all these guys namespace should be with it. Okay, so and then I'm going to now take everything we have here, cut it, and then put it in the scroll view. Okay, so that actually solves the problem. So when anything is in a scroll view, the height should always wrap the content, or you can make it 0 to match constraints. Okay, whichever one you prefer to actually do. So that's actually how we can solve that. So let me apply changes, and then let's see if we can be able to now scroll and see the buttons when we are in landscape view. Okay, so it goes to landscape view, and then we can actually now scroll. Yeah, can actually scroll. So that's how to fix that. So now another thing, if you notice, let me take this back. So immediately I click on this. So pardon my emulator, but this comes up. This is actually the number I can actually type. Okay, I need to update my emulator. So, but it actually just stays up. Okay, immediately after you just enter a cost of service, the keyboard stays up. Okay, and sometimes you want to manually just hide the keyboard. Okay, so for better access, for you to be able to there are some phones that once this comes up, you may not be able to see the calculate button, but sometimes you need to be able to hide the keyboard. Okay, so that can actually be done by setting what we call a click listener. So I'm going to add a code actually on the listener. So let's see how we can. So I'm going to create. This may seem a bit kind of advanced, but it's not. Don't worry yourself. So I'm going to create a private function. Key event. That will be the name of the function, and this key event is going to take two parameters. It's going to take a view, a view which could be of a text view or whatever. Okay, so that's going to take a view as a parameter, and then it's going to take what we call a key code, and the key code is of type integer. Okay, and this is going to return. So what we want to return is a Boolean, and then so what we're going to do now, we're going to do a check to see if our key code, okay, is equals we have a class called key event, okay, dot key code enter. There's a key code enter somewhere. So these are a whole lot of key codes on our applications actually. Okay, so if the key code is actually equal to that, then we will call or hide the keyboard. Or hide the keyboard. So how can we hide the keyboard? Okay, so we use what I'm going to create a variable called Impute manager, Impute method manager. It's actually from the class. Okay, so and then I'm going to say get system service. Okay, I'm going to call get system service. Okay, and then the get system service takes a service class. Okay, and so I'm going to do it like this. Let's see. I'm going to say context. This may seem a bit advanced, but impute method service, and I'm going to do this. It's going to come in as an impute manager, impute method Impute method manager, sorry. Okay, and then, okay, so with that, and then I'll just call impute manager, which is the variable we just created, dot hide is a method called hide soft impute from window. And then that takes a token. So our token is going to come from whatever view that is, which is going to be our edit text view.window token. And then I'm going to pass in 0 as a flag. Then we'll just return true. Sorry, true. Okay, so I think that's that. So if all this does not happen, then we'll return false if all that doesn't happen. So what I want to do now is to set an unclick listener on that's our edit text. I want to set an unclick listener on this guy. And so what is that? Okay, so that's going to be I think cost layout. Yes, cost layout. So let's see. So I'm going to say binding.cost layout. Okay, let's see. Set on key listener, and then I'm going to pass in a view. Okay, let's see. And okay, sorry, we're supposed to use the lambda, no wonder. Okay, so set on click listener that takes a view, and then a key code. Let's see, let's just look at this. Then okay, and then one more thing. Okay, so missing something. Okay, and then so let me then call our handle key event method, and then I'll pass in this view and then pass in the key code. So let me do this right. Something else needs to be here, and then okay, so this can actually just come down here. That's actually fine. So let's run this thing. Did I just refresh? Okay. Let's actually just rebuild, apply the changes, okay, and then see what that does. Okay, so on running it, okay, it doesn't really come up. So this comes up only when needed. Okay, only when needed, and then it listens to when you click on this enter, it closes it up. That's basically what we were working towards. Okay, so so this is basically just when you click the enter key, the keyboard should actually get hidden. So let me do this. Let me just comment this out. Okay, so are you still with me? Hello?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I think I lost it somehow.
Yeah.
Or it became quiet for a while. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so okay, so before we actually implemented that, okay, so this is just basically what we just did. Okay, so I think that's that. It's just I now introduced you to something that you might be like, what the hell is this? Don't worry, calm down. there's no big deal there. Okay, there's no big deal. I just wanted to just drop that out there. Okay, so I think that's actually all I can handle for now. So this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. Okay, now the thing is, I want you to, let me just point out this one thing before I leave you guys. Now you can actually adjust the tint of a vector drawable. Now remember we created we have some vector drawables here. You can actually, the reason we even use vector drawables, it's this, we can play around with the color. We can actually play around with the color. So that means that in light mode, it will be black, and then in dark mode, it can actually take another color attribute. So how can we actually do that? So what we can now do is we can actually just specify the kind of color we actually even want here. So this is what I'll do. I'll change the tint, this tint, to be color primary. I'll change the tint to be color primary. Okay, so remember when we created color primary, these are color primary on our themes. Color primary is okay, so let's use okay, yeah, let's use what's our color primary? Our color primary is green, actually. Yes, our color primary is green for light mode. For night mode, color primary, so that's why it's always good to name it. So color primary, now on dark mode, you will have this color for the color primary. So we'll test that theory out. So we can apply the same thing in every of our, so for the store, color primary, for the roundup, color primary. Okay, and so that is actually that. So let's now run the app, and then I think that's all we can take for today. So let's run the app. Okay, so this is it. On light mode, it's this. But on dark mode, these are the colors that it will now take, because we are using this name, color primary. So let's switch to our dark mode. Okay. Yes, and then let's see how now. So if we notice, it all change. It changes. It changes. So that is actually playing around with that. So I feel like giving you guys a task, but okay, yeah, sure. So this is what you do. This is for your own. Don't worry, you're not going to submit it. Okay, you're not going to submit it. I already have something really, really strong for us on Thursday. So but just play around with the app you built, you already submitted, and implement material design on it. Okay, I'll then push it. Just push it as an update to your already created GitHub link. So project, yes. So just push it as an update, and then I'll just go and check your GitHub link and just see how it all looks like. So don't submit it as an assignment. Just try that out yourselves. Okay, so I think that's all I can actually. We can take. This is already 8:45. So let me just give us a hint of what you should expect on Thursday. On Thursday, we're actually going to be looking into lists in Kotlin. We're going to be looking into recycler views. Okay, so from Thursday, actually, well, it's going to be tough. It's getting a bit tougher, but don't be scared. There's no big deal in all these things. So we're going to go into lists on Thursday, and I'm going to try as much as possible to be fast on Thursday, so we can just finish that. Okay, so and another thing I want to say is I'm open to extra classes if you guys actually want that. If you feel Tuesday and Thursday is still not enough and you want extra classes, if you just let me know, and then we'll fix that. I'm very much open to extra classes, but I need to make sure we get the required knowledge we need before we get to our project phase. Okay, somebody is saying weekends. Well, I'm free. It's just for you guys to choose the time and the day. Just choose the time, and then we'll have. I think it's to help us to cover much more. Okay, so somebody is asking if it's possible to shift the class to 8 p.m. So let's all weigh in on this. Let's all weigh in on this. Okay, so but before that, I think I'm just going to have to end the recording of this class. So so thank you very much. I hope there are there any questions concerning what was done before I end the recording? Okay, Fola, go ahead. Just questions concerning what was taught. I'll give us.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Is it possible to change the color of the task bar, I think, or the notification bar?
Yes,
like
yes, yes, it's very possible. Yes, very possible. Very possible.
How?
You just need to know what color actually is on that particular place. That's why you have your colors.xml. Okay, like when I switch to, I think you came in a bit late, that's why. Okay, so on this light mode, okay, you get to see two different shades of green here, right?
Yes.
You can see that two different. So yes, so good. Now, if I come open my colors.xml, you will see what color is actually on, which this is, so sorry. Good. So you can see this dark green, okay, takes this part. Okay, and then we have this green, the lighter one takes this. So you can just decide to play around with it however you want. You just need to know what color is this particular toolbar taking. What color is this action bar taking by default? That's just what you need to know, and then you can make changes to that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So any other question regarding the class, regarding what was taught? Okay, so in the absence of none, okay, so I'm going to stop the recording. Okay, so thank you very much, guys. Always, you guys are the best.